Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about Banshees. Also, I do a watercolor painting. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe down below for more. Banshees come from Gaelic Celtic folklore and is described as a bad omen that takes the shape of a female in spirit form. Banshees are seen as a bad omen as they come as a warning of death, particularly death within a household. But where do banshees come from? Some say banshees are just disembodied souls, and when they were alive they were strongly attached to the family, or had good reason to hate all members of the family, then took it with them when they passed, turning into a spirit with a soul full of family or hatred for family. In Irish tradition, it is said banshees are remnants of the reign of Tuatha De Danann, the gods of Ireland who were defeated and driven underground by the invading Milesians. Each god would occupy their own hill or mound. The gods would later be known as Ae-she, meaning people of the mounds. So, to put it simply, banshees are said to be ancient Irish Celtic pagan gods and goddesses living on in spirit form of a woman to warn people of death in the household. The word Banshee translates to woman of the fairies. And just to be clear, we are mainly going to be talking about the Gaelic Celtic folklore of the Banshee during this video. There are many different descriptions of what a Banshee looks like. It is said banshees change their form or shapeshift depending on maybe who they're visiting, the situation for the visit, or maybe the feeling from the family or the family member bound to die. Some are beautiful, with long hair. Often in this form her hair would be black, copper/ginger, or golden blonde. She would have big eyes that bring comfort, being either blue or grey usually, glistening and full of sorrow or pity, with sharp facial features, and strangely she is either seen unnaturally tall or unnaturally short, but generally she is very, very, very short, between about 1 foot and 4 foot. But in this beautiful form, she's usually just angelic looking with a calming presence. But others describe the Banshee as old, saggy, dirty, and ugly. Her hair unkempt and like straw, her eyes dark with an eerie gaze, skinny and hunched, almost, sometimes slight deformities in her looks, long nails and dirty bony fingers, with an uncomfortable presence. And finally, some describes her as so disturbing you wouldn't want to look, almost terrifying, more like a creature with old qualities of a woman, but mostly just unnatural and deformed, with eyes full of hate and despair, depriving of all energy. Mostly though, in this version, you won't really see her eyes because of her deformities. Her facial features may be blended together or stretched out, her limbs stretched or strangely textured, her hair thick and long, often dark black or grey, but she may even be faceless. If you encounter her in this form, be prepared for the intense feeling of fear she will instill in you in her visit. So, what do banshees do? Really, it depends which type you encounter. To divide it into two, you have either a friendly banshee or a hostile banshee. This depends on if the banshee loves the person whose death she is calling or not. If the banshee visiting is friendly, she will probably appear beautiful and gracefully. With a comforting presence, she will sing softly, wail, or chant in a sweet tone to reassure the person dying and their family with the final tune as they pass on to the afterlife. As for the hostile Banshee, her presence will be uncomfortable, unsettling, and uninviting. She will scream or shriek painfully, torturing souls living and forcing whoever is dying for her shriek to be the last thing they hear passing. Supposedly, some of those that are hateful take pleasure in taking a life, and will not only appear during their final moments, but stalk and torture them with her wailing and screaming leading up to their death. Now, when you think of screaming or shrieking, it's normal, I'd imagine. A banshee's scream, though, is terrifying. Not only unpleasant and eerie, but ear-piercingly loud. Almost like if you can imagine demons screaming, distorted, and on top of that, the wail and shriek of a woman, only to her own delight. Banshees commonly often do keening, which in Old Irish or Celtic Gaelic is called cuine, and means to cry or weep. The Banshee will keen and pause in between, before starting again as if grieving for every soul she invites into the afterlife. Some say Banshees only visit those of Irish blood, or who are descendants of the Milesians. Now, there is a theory the Banshee is a Celtic goddess, the daughter of Dagda, Brigid. Brigid was the goddess of spring, fertility, and life, but when her son Randan died in battle, that's how keening was created, as she grieved for her son on the battlefield. Of course, the Milesians, the last to settle in Ireland after defeating Tuatha De Danann and sending them underground, burying Brigid and her son. So some say it is after this Brigid turned and became the goddess of death, almost hunting down the Milesians, haunting them in her death, forcing them to hear her cries they caused when they killed her son. As it is said, Banshees like to hold a grudge, of course, as we know, since they take their hate with them. So it would make sense. But this is just a theory. Personally, I do not believe in this theory, as I think if you're a god or goddess that represents something, it's not possible to change that, because that's their purpose, and perhaps her son's death made her stronger in her abilities. But it is a theory that is a part of the origin of the Banshee. So, to put it simply and make a conclusion on the Banshee, it is a spirit that takes the form of a woman, rarely beautiful, often scary and deformed, who comes to warn a family of death with her screams and cries. When she does, that member of the family's fate is sealed, and no matter what, they are going to die. This isn't the Banshee's fault, as she is just a warning, though some Banshees come with ill intent, screaming deafening screams as they drift to the other side. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that wasn't too scary for some of you, and I hope that gave you some knowledge about the Banshees that maybe you didn't know or that you were interested in. Please hit the like button if you did enjoy this video, and subscribe for more videos like this, and I will speak to you guys soon.